Hi guys, let me show you how to make this ruched Boubou top. You can get 2 yards or 2.5 yards, depends on how long you want it and how wide you want it. But for my own case, I'll be using a Boubou that I already made, a butterfly Boubou. So you'll be needing your fabric, you'll be needing bias, you'll be needing thread and then elastic tape to make this Boubou, and of course your sewing machine and other things. So guys, my name is Fatima Yusuf, and on this platform I post sewing tutorials. Please don't forget to subscribe and let's get straight to it. So this is my Boubou. It's a butterfly Boubou. I used 3 yards to make it, but the problem is that it's not long for me and I don't like short gowns. That's one thing. So it has inner belts, right? And I'm like, oh, I remember this, so I was not like, let me try and make something with it, because I thought about the idea and I was like, okay, since I have this one, let me try. So this is how the Boubou looks like. It's a butterfly Boubou. I used 3 yards to make this, but you can use 2.5 yard when you want to make this top. So I already unstitched the stitch that was on the butterfly Boubou. As you can see, the neck is biased, the sides are hem. So in case you're using 2.5 yard, you fold it. You can fold using the width and not the length. You fold it, give it 2 folds, right? So that you have the shoulder closed. Then you just cut out your neckline. That's the only thing you're cutting out. Your neckline, 3.5 by 3 or 3.5 by 3.5, depends on what measurement you normally use. So that's the only thing you're cutting out on this Boubou. Then you'll be needing to make a belt and then fix it at your waistline. I'll put a link where you can see how to do that. I went ahead to measure the length of the gown, and it's 56, and my own length is 60. And if I want to make Boubou, I should be having like 62 or 61 inches, you understand? So it's quite short for me. So now I decided on what length I want to make. You can use, if you're using 2.5 yard, you can use everything you have at the end, you understand? But it all depends on how long you want your gown to be. But for mine, I went ahead, I marked 47 inches. That's what I marked for the length. I'll go ahead and cut off the excess. I can even use the excess to make scarf. I can join the pieces together to make a scarf that I can tie, you understand? So I'm not wasting yard, because I feel like some people will come and start telling me I'm wasting yard. I'm not in this case. So the wideness I have on at the Boubou is 29 inches. So that's how wide it will be. And like I said, 2.5 yard will be perfect for this Boubou. You mustn't get 3 yards. You must not make it long like mine. 2.5 yard is okay. 2 yards 7 might be okay for some slim people, but 2.5 yard will be better. I went ahead to just cut out the excess, and this excess, like I said, I can still use it to make something else. I can use it to make scarf that will tie. I can use it to make scrunchies for clients that will put as gifts, you understand? So I'm not wasting fabric here. So I'll carefully cut it out, and after I'm done, I will now measure where I want my ruched effect to be. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and hem the down part of back and front. I'm going to hem it. I'll just fold in 0.5 inches, and I'll just hem the down part. In case you want to weave yours, you can weave yours, but me, I'll just go ahead and hem the down part of both back and front separately. So that's what I'm showing you. I'll fold in, and stitch the other side. So I'll do the same thing. So after doing that, I'm going to come ahead. I'll come back and fold it. I've folded it, as you can see. I've hemmed the down part. So now I will now decide where I want my ruched effect to be, right? No, it's just an idea I thought about. So there were some like few mistakes, you understand? So you just come along with me. So for my shoulder, I measured 16 at first for my waistline. Then I was like, no, let me go down to 18 inches. I measured the 18 inches, right? Afterwards, I went back to that 16 inches. I went back to that 16 inches. So let's go first. From my shoulder, I went ahead, I marked 16 inches like I told you guys earlier, right? So I'm going to mark that 16. And then to know where I'm starting my ruched effect, where I'm going to place my tape, elastic tape, that's like from the inside part, I measured my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. It gave me 4. So I measured 4 inches so that the ruched effect can be like around my nipple point, under my nipple point, like it will align, you understand? So I went ahead again and I marked 18 now. Then from that 18, I'll still mark that 4 inches inward. I'm now going to take that 4 inches from that 18 to the end of this Boubou. So that's what I did. And I drew a straight line to do that. So this is me using my tape to guide me to do that. If you have a long ruler, use your ruler. I drew a straight line, right? That's what I'm doing here. I drew a straight line. Then I'm going to go, after doing this, I'll measure what I had. I'm going to divide it by 2. After marking the straight line, I'll bring in my elastic tape that I'll be using. From that 18, I had 29 inches. I'm going to divide it into 2. I got 14.5. Now on my elastic tape, I measured out that 14.5. Measure what you get, the length you have, and then where you're starting to where you're stopping, you measure the length, you divide by 2. I did that and I used that to cut out my elastic tape. After cutting out my elastic tape, I'll just go to my sewing machine and stitch it on that straight line. So you are going to drag that elastic tape from the beginning to meet the end point. That was what I did. While stitching, I dragged the elastic tape. I placed it from the starting point. I stitched it. I made sure it was stitched, it was secure. Then I will now draw the elastic tape and stitch it to the end. So this was what I got. I wasn't feeling it. I was like, I will have just used that 16 inches. So you can use 18 if you want. Like, you can see what it gives me, right? Last, you can use 18. You start your elastic stitching from that 18. So I went there to lose the one I stitched, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here. Then I'll go back and measure 16 as my waistline that I did at first, that I had to just change to 18. So I marked it here. That's what I was trying to get here. Since I had 18, I just went up by 2 to get 16 inches. And I still maintained that 4 inches that we marked for nipple to nipple divided by 2, right? So I now went ahead to stitch my elastic tape to it from 16 to the end of the boubou. That's to close to where the hem is. That's what I did. So sewing the elastic, you stitch the beginning, you double stitch the beginning so that you make sure it's safe. It's not going to come off when you drag or draw your elastic tape. Then while stitching the rest, you drag it to meet the end of where you want to stop, and then you just stitch. That's how you stitch the elastic tape to it. I wasn't able to video that part. I would have loved to, but I wasn't able to. So that's what I'm trying to explain so that you get it. And for this second stitching, what I did was I reduced the length of my elastic tape. I cut off 1 inch from it. That's what I did here. I was trying to check if it's going to work. So that's what I did. And remember, the one I cut out was for 18, not for 16. But I still went ahead and removed 1 inch from it. So what you have, you divide it by 2. Then you can minus about 3 or 4 inches from after dividing by 2. You understand? So let's say you have 15. Then you cut out your elastic tape to be 12 inches. I hope you guys understand. It's just idea I got and I was like trying it out. So I decided to share with you people. So please manage it. Then after doing that, this is what it's giving. So I felt like this was better. Yeah. Although I wish the ruched was still like up. So maybe I'll have reduced more. You understand? Then I was like, okay, what if I ruched the down part? Then I went ahead to do that one again. But there was something I did. It was now I was like, I would have done it this way. I would have done, because it has 3 ruched effects. That was what I did. So I'll have done the second one before doing the last one as this. But I did this down part before doing the middle one. So if you're following me, you can do the second one that I'll be showing as the last ruching before you now do this one to be the last ruching. I hope you understand. I don't know if ruching is even a word. So I marked this 11 inches, right? So from 11 inches, that's the distance I marked, you can see. Then I marked 12 inches. Then I'll go ahead and divide 12 by 2. It's going to give me what? 6 inches. Cut out 6 inches for my elastic tape, and I'll just stitch it the same way I did for the first ruching effect that we did. So that's what I did. That was for the last ruching. That's the third one, the down part on. So that's why I said, in case you're following me, you will do the last one I'm going to show you before you do this one. You guys understand me? And your measurements can be different. The length you want might be different from mine. For the second point that I'm ruched that I did last, but you have to do it second, please. You're supposed to measure the way you did for the first one. You do it left and right so that you've done that first one. And instead of using that left or right, for the second one at the down part, I went up 20 inches from the down part, from the hem point. I went up 20 and I cut out elastic tape of 10 and I stitched it. But it was filming. It was when I was editing this video. I found out that part didn't film. So please, I hope you understand. Remember when we did this at the beginning, right? As you've done it here, maybe this is your left. You turn into the right side and do same thing. But the only difference is that this one, the length is 29 in my own case. The second line, that will be at the left. If this one is at the right, you can still draw this straight line, right? Then on that line, you measure from your down point to 20 inches upward. So that was where I did the second ruching or ruched effect, as you can see, right? So after that, I'll fold my fabric. Then I measured the sleeve length, the sleeve opening 8 inches, and I just stitch in this manner. using 0.5 inch. And that was how I made this booboo. You can see the back and it is how the front. You can see what the ruched effect gave, right? I'm going to drop the link for the belt part and also a booboo similar to this, but just that one has drawstring. Thank you for watching. And do you like my idea? Do you think my idea is actually nice? Tell me what you think about this ruched booboo top. Is this something you like to try? And if this video has been helpful in one way or the other, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, drop your comments. Thank you.